All right, a long time coming, getting back out into pads, starting right up front, with the run game and just playing the physical nature of ball. Challenged the guys this morning to come out here and to capture the style of play that that is acceptable to them. And that's the thing, is to just continue to push them to say what we want to be: a physical team. We want to make sure that it all starts with the run game on both sides of it, and just challenging them that way, and I thought they responded well. It was great, just to kind of get some different movement patterns going on with the pads, and I'm excited to, go back and watch the one-on-ones. On the other side, we had some pass rush stuff down there on one end, and just watching guys battle. Just love this time of the year.
It got pretty physical towards the end of practice, obviously with Trevin and Chuba. What did you see there, and what did you talk to them about kind of afterwards?
It's football. Yeah, playing football. We got to toe the line. We got to play physical. And a lot of times, it's not personal. It's just football, and so guys will respond passionately, and they don't like getting knocked on their butt. They take it personal. But, there was a lot of physical play throughout practice, so that's going to happen.
Did you end practice early as a result of that?
Not at all. No. We as quick as I could get the music back going and feed off of that energy, I wanted to make sure the guys can have the ability to have plays, and sometimes there's going to be, emotional, passionate plays. Can we go to the next one? Can we get back to football? So it was great.
Do you want to see just a little bit of that as long as everybody stays safe?
I just want to see a physical brand of ball. The guys should be flying to the ball full speed and have to make those decisions on how to take care of our guys when they're in vulnerable spots. But, it's going to be physical, inside. It's going to be physical on the back end of it as well, and so I want them to push it to the limit, and we'll pull them back from there. But we cannot hesitate and create bad habits by not finishing. As you can, you've seen trends. If we don't capture the physical nature of this game, it takes games to kind of get your tackling down and get all those things. So we have to make it come alive this camp.
The offensive linemen in particular look forward to a day like today so that they can negate some of the advantages the other guys have.
Absolutely. It's like having handlebars out there when there's shoulder pads. There's a lot more surface to grip inside for the old linemen, where they can really get in there and steer. And for the defensive linemen, it's about pad level, and a lot of those guys operate better once they get behind their shoulder pads, and are able to find edges and to work on edges.
Dabo Sweeney was here today.
Yeah.
Watching Hunter, what'd you think about that?
Oh, it was awesome. I'm so glad he came to join us, our first day of pads. I really admire Coach Sweeney, just over the years, just watching the programs that he's built, the type of football that they play, so I don't get to hang out with him enough. So I love when things like this work out, where I can, still 3 to 5 minutes and pick his brain, just on building culture and pushing the guys, and all the things that I know he's done so well for so long.
Hunter's made a lot of highlight plays out here the first week, but it seemed like a really strong day for Jalen Coker and T-Mac.
Yeah.
How have you seen them kind of find their footing this summer, getting back to it?
Yeah, it's just about opportunity, and as a former receivers coach, I look at all the guys away from the ball, so a lot of times, you kind of get focused on where the ball goes and who caught it or who didn't, but there's a lot of good stuff happening away from the ball. JT Sanders had a nice day today, but the last couple of days didn't get a lot of targets, but he's winning. He looks fast, he looks explosive. You talk about Jalen. Jalen's had such a great camp so far, today the ball found him, but even in the couple of days where the ball might have been going somewhere else, he's bursting at the top, he's creating separation, he's finding edges, and it was good to see T-Mac just rise to the challenge. The DBs are challenging him every single time, and he's inviting that, and just learning more and more about him and how he responds, in a tough one-on-one rep to start, comes back, catches the deep go ball, and just like this, to see him just kind of stay even, processing what happened, and just continuing to evolve each practice has been really cool.
Saw Hunter returning some punts or
Yeah.
fielding punts.
Yeah.
Is that a case where, as he's doing more and more at receiver, you start thinking about, well, if he's going to be on this team, let's see if he can return punts too?
Absolutely. Let's figure out all the ways that he could potentially help this team, and he's been a punt returner in his past, he's got a great feel for it. And so, what more can he do, and that's for all the guys too, just trying to see if we can depend on them in special teams, which will be a huge thing for them.
David, it can't be easy off sitting off a whole year in the NFL and trying to make the comeback. How do you feel like he's looked, and has he looked NFL
Who's that again?
Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
Being away from the game for a year.
Yeah.
How has he looked, and has he looked like NFL shape?
He looks like the Hunter that I remember, and I watch him just kind of his route craft, understanding coverages, leverage, how to attack things, and like it really happened in the spring where you could see him kind of getting his legs back underneath him, and probably halfway through OTAs, all of a sudden, he's sudden and he's making his breaks, and he's a guy that Andy really likes throwing to right now, so it's been really cool to see that.
Dave, with Sam Martin now back as primary holder on field goals,
Yeah.
does that allow you guys kind of move closer as far as that competition goes, making a decision between Matthew and Ryan?
I mean, first of all, let's give it up for Andy Dalton, who did a great job, for the first 4 days. But it is good to have Sam back out there. Just, the speed in which he gets the ball down, now the guys can, see who they're going to have as a holder, and it'll give us a little bit more information, but we'll take this thing all the way through into games to kind of see how the guys can help us.
From an offensive coaching perspective, having a guy like Andy who can be accurate and is consistent, how much does that help you with evaluating that second team group, especially as you're mixing and matching personnel?
I mean, it's huge, because with your second group, you have tiers of guys that are kind of working in, and so as Andy distributes that, you can see the guys show up. You can see the backs, you can see all the young receivers kind of coming in and making plays, and it also gives us an opportunity to say, if we didn't get a play to JT Sanders with the first group, or say he didn't get the target, we can always throw him into Andy's group and see if we can replicate that and create it so we can, give him a look at it. So Andy's been fantastic that way.
We saw JT was slow to get up later on there.
Yeah.
Is he okay?
I don't know. We'll check in on him. It looked like he took a shot in the groin right there. We're asking our guys to punch the ball. Sometimes they take it a little too literally. So he went down in a heap, but I think he'll be all right. So we'll check in on him.
Dave, who is catching your eye in that defensive front group?
I would say first and foremost, Turk Wharton. Great to have Derek back, but I think just kind of the style and energy that he's working with. Ashawn looks great. Ashawn has worked, you can tell this summer, you can tell this spring, just really taking care of his body, and the way that we're repping Ashawn right now to allow him to get in there, get his work. We don't have to overwork him. We got a lot of guys we got to look at, but he's looked really explosive. He's playing with length, and so I'm really excited about that group.
We haven't seen a lot of Cam Jackson.
Yeah.
Is he just working up to speed, or what's?
Yeah. He's working his way in. He's got a lot of work in front of him. In terms of just playing our techniques properly, pushing him that way, pushing him to get his pad level down. It's a great group to be around because we got a lot of veteran players in there that play with great technique and leverage, and so challenging Cam that way, dosing him the right way, throwing him out there to get a good look at him, and his reps will keep going, up as we continue camp.
One of the things that Dabo says about Hunter is that he just looks so normal out there, like you or me, maybe you going out there to play football, and he turns into Superman and he puts the helmet on. How fair is that? Is that close to what you see? Or?
Yeah, it's a special competitive brain that Hunter has. I think some guys, they get better and better the more it feels like real ball. Where they continue to play with an awareness, eyes and feet. That's kind of the name of the game at receiver. And you don't see a drop off whether we're going in 7-on-7 or 1-on-1s. You get to the team periods and it's the same speed of play that he's done for a really long time.
Dave, T-Mac had the one crossing route where he got open pretty quickly, kind of blazed the end zone. We talked about how his speed's kind of understated, at least from an analysis standpoint.
Yeah.
Are you seeing the speed as he's kind of revving up in camp?
He plays fast. That was kind of going back to his film, from Arizona, is his play speed is what you look at, and yes, we take, we take into consideration what the 40 time looks like. He ran a 4.5, he's fast. But he's a tall guy, and a lot of times those guys, their stride builds up as they get going, it's particular when he's running across the field, that he can pretty much separate and run away from anybody, regardless of what the 40 time says, so it's good. I know we're doing our job. I know Bryce is throwing the ball with accuracy when we can get him catching the ball in full stride. So, which was a beautiful play by Bryce, a little bit of pressure. He kind of had to move off the spot, get the ball out quickly. And so just a really well executed play.
You referenced
We got Coach Joe and Joe and Steve, and then we're wrapping up.
You referenced earlier the rep against Mike Jack early in the one-on-ones. Are you guys wanting that matchup so Tech can get used to that physical press? I mean, because he seems like he's always getting matched against Mike Jackson.
That's Mike, so Mike wants to go good on good all the time. And I love that. I think the thing I tell the guys is we make us, and the guy across from you will determine how far you go and in your readiness for games. So I just love it. I love that they're battling every day. The battles up front with Rob and D. Lou and Turk. Bobby's going to be coming out there pretty soon. Icky and Timo. Going against DJ Wan and Pat Jones, Princely, Nick Scorton, having to go against veteran tackles. All these matchups are going to make us who we are. So I love when those things kind of happen that way, and I love just the competitive nature of Mike. He's like, I'm going against him. I want to battle against this guy. I want to work on my game.
Dave, Bryce went through a lot last year. What was your takeaway of his season last year, and what impressed you the most with him coming through and finishing strong the way he did? And then secondly, what do you want to see? What areas you most want to see him improve this year?
I just want to see Bryce continue to master the offense, use his tools. He's doing a great job there, getting to some of his signals and checks versus the right looks. He's really dialed in that way. Certainly with the run game, making sure that we're going to the right spots and we have a bunch of alerts built in that way. He's doing a great job of carrying our system to where Brad and I are sitting there on a day off yesterday, like what else can we throw in? What little wrinkle can we add? We're still in install mode at this point, but Bryce is giving us the ability to continue to expand what we're doing, and that's the high hope, really.
In the first part, like what impressed you most about him bouncing back?
Just his leadership. He led the whole way through. That's who he is. He's continuing to do that. He checks in with his guys constantly. There's constant feedback in between periods when he's out there. He's just talking to his guys. Thinks he wants a little bit differently. They're always kind of fine tuning stuff. And just his steady outlook. He's just a competitor. He loves the moments that kind of crescendo into this 5-to-5 drill. Where he's got to make a play, and he just thrives there because he stays the same. And so I just love that about him.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah.
Hello everyone. How we doing? Blessed. Can't complain.
Do anything fun for your birthday?
We had all my friends got together. I think it was at like 7:50 in the morning. It was all my friends, coaching staff was here. It's a great team meeting. I had a ton of fun.
Did you lose your voice?
Yeah, life. Getting a little sick, but yeah.
Look like a pretty.
How does it sound? Is it a good, not, yeah. Is it like a cool lose my voice, or is it like a, that's all right. I got the truth right there. Yeah, no, it's all good. It's not intentional.
From an offensive perspective, it seemed like a really strong day for you guys. Why do you think typically defenses kind of start off ahead of offenses just when you get to camp, from the standpoint of not playing in pads, but just kind of getting accustomed to where you're at after the break?
I don't know. That's not really a mentality we have. We want to win every day, just like the defense wants to win every day. So yeah, I think we had a better day today. They had some better days earlier on in camp. It's camp. It's back and forth. We always keep scoring there because coach always wants to cultivate that competition. And tomorrow's gonna be a new day. So really, just a one day at a time mentality.
Dave talked about how Team Act bounced back from a tough initial one-on-one rep with Mike Jack and caught that long, tracked that ball that you put on him. Could you take us through just that one rep and kind of what that says about him and kind of your chemistry with him?
Yeah, that was a great job of him going and tracking the ball. It was great coverage, and that's the league. It's going to be a lot of great corners out there. It's a lot of contested catches, but it was a great job of Team Mac of understanding leverage. Fighting pressure with pressure, fading out at the last moment. And again, it's you're going to win reps, you're going to lose reps, but it's a competitive spirit that he has that really a lot of guys, all of us have. You got to wash it, you got to learn from it, and then you got to come back and compete. Every rep's a new opportunity. He's done a great job with that, and being able to go against the corners we have, that'll prepare him for the year.
You had another play in 11s where you threw to him over the middle, and he got wide open, had kind of a touchdown run after the catch. Have you been able to notice his speed, just playing speed, being in the pocket and just seeing him go.
Yeah, he has a great feel. He does a great job of understanding man versus zone, understanding when to get into certain windows, and then also has a great knack for as soon as he catches the ball and secures it, he becomes a runner, which is it's what you love from a quarterback, when you can get a 15-yard dig and it can turn into an explosive even beyond that. So it was great to see. We know he's capable of it. We have a ton of guys that do that. Coach does a great job of coaching on that. So it's exciting.
Last year was rough at times, I know, for you, but you made it through and really improved towards the end of the last season. What did you learn from that whole experience of last year?
Yeah, just want to be consistent, ups or downs, good games, bad games, regardless of the situation. Just want to be consistent in my work, in my process. That's something that Coach talks about all the time. Making sure that, we focus on the work. And I felt like I was able to do that regardless of what my circumstance was. And I never want to lose that. I want to make sure that I'm consistent. And just because I was consistent in the past, I got to challenge myself every day to be just as, if not more, consistent. So that's the journey.
Did you ever lose confidence in that?
No, my confidence comes from God and the people around me.
Nice. T-Mac had a routine he did for warming up in college where he'd go up, do his twisting behind the back, one-handed catch. Have you guys practiced that at all so you can do that?
No, I haven't practiced it with him. I don't know his routine. Preseason will be cool. You kind of get to see all the new guys. Everyone has their little routine. Everyone has what they've been doing for a while. So yeah, we'll see what everyone's is this year.
You guys have your
such a
handshake
good
yet?
camp so far. What's your experience been like working with him so far?
Yeah, someone that I've watched from afar, just being a fan of the game for a while, but getting to see it, sitting having a locker next to him, getting to be able to talk and see the things he sees, hear his mindset about how he attacks route running. It's been great for me and for the entire team just to be around. He's someone that you can definitely trust. You love that as a quarterback. He's going to be at the right place, right time, and so much creativity. But one of the things he does, he's able to stay on time with that creativity, which is really hard to do. So he's done a great job, and we're all excited to watch him keep going.
Did you get to meet Dabo out here or talk to him?
Yeah. I've met him before. It was good to see. We had a bunch of Clemson guys out here. It's great for the seeing the Carolinas come together. So yeah, it was cool.
He recruited you?
No, he didn't recruit me. DJ, that's my dog. We were the same class, and DJ committed there early. So didn't recruit me, but it's all love. Yeah.
He was saying though, when Hunter's out there, the street clothes and all, he just looks like a normal person. But you put a helmet on, he says he becomes Superman. What do you see?
I don't think I'm at liberty to say what a normal person looks like. But I do know the football player and the competitor he is. Again, he's putting it on film. He's been doing it his whole career. He's doing it out here in training camp. It's one of the fun ones when you go back and watch the film after this, and you get to see just how he got where he did. It's been fun. So yeah, it's great to watch him compete.
Bryce, this wide receiver room has gotten pretty crowded over the last few months. What does David Moore do to kind of still set himself apart?
Yeah, like you said, it's a really, really competitive, really deep receiver room. It's just to see the competition, see all guys around that can make plays, that flash and do really good things. I think Demo just being the steady, consistent guy he is, and also being one of the vets in the room too. He's been in the system for a while, whether it be here or Tampa or Seattle, knows exactly what he's doing. He's done a great job of helping out the young guys and where to line up, route detail, things like that. And again, just consistency. Someone you know where he's going to be, is always doing the right thing in the run game, in the pass game, and that's what coaches want to see.
Bryce, of course, on the wide receiver room, you have Renfro from Clemson, Xavier Legette, South Carolina with that rivalry. Of course, your college history, probably with both, but have you had to either mediate or become a part of any rivalry discussions in that aspect?
Not from those two. I never played. While I was at Bama, we never played either of those two. I don't think they played against each other. I don't think they were there at the same time. So luckily, with us three, we're able to keep it friendly.
Bryce, what struck you about, not just continue asking about other receivers, but what struck you about Jalen Coker this training camp?
Yeah.
Your locker buddy.
Man, the competitive spirit he's come out with, you saw it today. Being physical, making contested catches, really taking the challenge. I think you see that again, another year in the system for him being confident, knowing what he can do. He put it out on tape all last year. Him coming in and playing with the edge, playing with the chip. He's confident. He's talking on the field. You feel his presence when he's out there. It's something that you see on the tape, but when you're on the field, we all feel it. So I love his mindset. He's a great dude. The way he works, it's really showing out on practice. I have all the confidence in the world in him and in the rest of the receiving core too. So like you said, it's a super crowded room, a lot of competition there. All right, appreciate you guys.
Ask about the golf game first.
You must have talked to Coach Sweeney. Yeah, I played with him a few times this off season. The most recent one, we had like six twosomes, and we had the Lake Kiwi Open. So we got a place out there. He's got a place out there, and so we come in and we had 2 rain delays, right? So we started like 5 o'clock. It's late. We play. We had little trophies. They're like plastic cups. We would, Kiwi Open Invitational. And so we come in. I think we're like, it's 2-man best ball. So we were like even or 1 over, right? So we think it's over. It's like 8:30. It's pretty dark. And we're like, all right, we're going to take this one. So we go up. We had a little award ceremony. And we go up and we ask for hamburgers at the place because it's pitch black dark, right? Next thing we know, we're looking down and we see flashlights in the fairway. And Coach Sweeney's up there, he had no idea how far he was out. He was like 190, but his partner's up there with a flashlight on his phone just so he could see the golf ball. And they come in, they're like 2 under and made a big deal about it. But we had a good time with it.
What's your name?
I'm like a 7, something like that. Yeah, I got a lot of practice last year.
Well, you're getting a lot of practice this year out there. Why do you think you're finding like so much success early on, just as you guys onboard into training camp?
I think just trying to do what the coaches ask you to do, right? I think just trying to get better every day. I think we have a good group of receivers and deep, and it was very similar. Coach Sweeney was out here. It was very similar to when I was at Clemson. Like everyone pushed each other. We had Mike Williams, we had T. Higgins, we had Justin Ross, Amari Rodgers, Deion Kane, Ray McLeod. We had all these 5 stars, and if you didn't show up every day, you were going to get beat out, right? It could be one little thing, one little route you didn't run the right way. Next thing you know, they get the opportunity, they're going. So I think that's part of it. I think having an appreciation of being back out here, being able to feel like I can run again, feel like I can go out there and have fun with my teammates again, be a part of a team, be a part of pushing towards something special. And so I think it's all kind of a part of it, and so it's just been an appreciation for me.
I know you talked to a lot of these guys about what you went through, but I wonder if you can kind of go back through last year and how sick you were.
Yeah, I don't know if you want all the details, but it was this time really around April, March. So really 2021. I remember we made the playoffs that year, and I remember late in the season being like, I'm tired for some reason. Like I'm really tired. Didn't think much of it because we made the playoffs. I remember taking like a month off and then going to the Pro Bowl and being like, I don't want to go run a route. I'm gassed. I'm tired. Why am I so tired? And I was like, maybe I just took a month off and I didn't do anything. And so then that went on, and then all summer, I was negotiating a contract, so I was trying to give my best and feel the best I could. But I just remember being really tired and really fatigued and really all the time, and then really just it lingered on. And I didn't find out till after 2022 really that I had something. I think the moment I figured something out was that next off season I was training to come back to football, and like one day I'd run 110s as our conditioning test, and I'd run 4 of them, and I'd be like on the ground, gassed, tired, couldn't run anymore. And the next day I'd run 10 of them and it'd be no problem. So I was like, something's going on here. So, get some medical stuff done, got some screening done, figured out this is what I had. And then the last year, the Raiders, they just trying to piece it together to finish up the contract. And then after the season, I was like, I'm never playing football again. I do not want to play football, right? Like when you feel like that and you feel like you left your teammates down, you feel like You can't get up and get everything you have. And then you can give some days everything you have. They count on you, and then the next day you lay an egg. It's not fun, right? I don't think that's good in any profession. And so went through that, and I was like, I'm not playing, and came through Easter of 2024, so a year ago. And I remember just being about as sick as I could. There was a week I really liked the Pelicans, or I think they're Pelicans down here, the snow cones. So me and my daughter were going like 3 times a week to get some Pelican snow cones, and the sugar was awful for me. So I didn't know that. And so I had to go to the ER because I had 101 degree fever for 7 days straight, like break fever, shivers, get in the tub, break it, shivers, get in the tub. So felt terrible, ended up going to the hospital, getting some steroids, and I finally was like, I need to get this under control. So I actually was working with a guy from Atrium up here, Amit Arevapalli, Dr. Arevapalli, and he is a GI specialist, and he, my uncle referred me to him, or my cousin referred me to him, who's a pediatrician in the area, and he's done unbelievable for me and got me on the right infusion and kind of coached me through what I can eat, what portions I can eat, what to stay away from, and I felt a lot better. So I've been very appreciative.
What did it mean to have Coach Sweeney out here just to watch first day at Pads?
Yeah. I was talking to Coach Canales. I mean, they're very similar, right? They're very optimistic. They believe in you before you believe in yourself. They try to speak life into people, speak good into people. Coach Sweeney will crawl you a little more than Coach Canales, I will say, at least so far. I hope I don't see that side of Coach Canales, but they're both awesome people, unbelievable human beings first, right? I think y'all know Coach Canales well enough, and being around Clemson as well, I think they both are the epitome of just good people, and they want the best for the people they do life with. They love people, they care about people first, and then football takes care of itself. And you want to do well for people like that, whether, y'all do what y'all do for y'all's bosses, whatever industry it is. I think you just want to see good people succeed, and so that gives you a little extra when you wake up in the morning.
Turning to the league, kind of having this kind of local outlook and kind of being from somewhat around here, how important was that for landing like a comfort zone in coming back?
Yeah, I'm an hour and a half from my house. So, I told my agent, like, this is where if I was going to play somewhere, this was it. Like, I would take a visit to the Raiders, but this was where I was going. Like, and it's kind of how I felt at Clemson. Like, if I had to walk on Clemson, that's because I love Carolina. I love the people. I love being close to family. This is where, God willing, I'm going to be, the rest of my life. And so I love this area, and I just want to see it succeed. And that's kind of my heart.
Hunter, Dabo was saying in the last year when you were out, you were competing constantly with his son Will, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And he could see you getting stronger even though you weren't doing football stuff. Could you, when you weren't doing football things, like have that measurement to it, could you feel yourself?
Yeah, I remember the first day, like I cut out sugar, or the first week kind of period. I got in the pickleball court and I was like, man, this is the best I've felt in a long time. And so, I love playing sports. I love competing. So it doesn't matter if it's pickleball or basketball or, soccer or playing cornhole. I just like competing. And so when I felt healthy enough to do those things, and at the end of the game, I'm thinking, all right, how can I go, make the play instead of when can I be done? I think that was big for me and kind of the psychology of sports. So.
What's it like in that wide receiver role?
It's interesting. We have a bunch of different personalities, a bunch of different ages, but amazing. I think we have a really good group. I think we have a really talented group. It's the deepest I've ever been around. We have, 7 or 8 guys that comfortably can go out there and play, and then a lot of young guys that are proven they can. And so, like I was talking about Clemson, it just pushes you. It pushes you every day. I think, the Bible talks about iron sharpening iron, and that's what it is. And hopefully we can do that every day, and then the other people we have out there can see that and be inspired from that and go out there and make every day the best we can. So it's been fun.
What kind of coaching was he giving you after your one-on-ones?
Coach Sweeney? Coach Sweeney has all the answers, which is great. But no, he's awesome. I'll just leave it at that. He's awesome. I think the DBs see the same route since they were in middle school, right? They see if someone runs a basic route, an in cut, they see that big step, run in, big step, run in. So just trying to use that against them, right? Trying to show them something they've seen 1,000 times and give them a little change up, right? And really just think about what you do. You know, Coach Sweeney's big thing is, all right, win every route vertical. If you can make them think you're running vertical, you can go whichever way you want. That's the biggest threat as a receiver, is the ability to run by him. And so trying to set that up and then throwing curveballs and change-ups in there has been good. And so I have a whole year of just kind of thinking things in my brain when I wasn't playing that now I can actually go feel good enough to go do them. And so maybe I'll get a little too creative at times, but it's been fun to try things out. So thank you. Appreciate it.
What happened on the play with Trevin and kind of what happened afterwards?
Shoot, just football play. You know, he's playing hard. You know, that's what coach preaches. So, you know, nothing to be mad about. It's just football. So, obviously a lot of emotions in it, but he's playing hard, and that's what we need. So, I love it.
But you seemed mad at the time.
I mean, no. I mean, football's all about emotions. Obviously, I got hit, reacted a certain way, but like I said, he's playing hard, and I can't be mad about that.
It seems like you guys were more focused, obviously, on the run today because you had the pads on. What did you see from the other running backs as you were kind of like waiting in between reps?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's running hard. A lot of good balance, low pads, physical running, and that's what we need. That's what we preach every day. So to see the young guys, you know, follow suit, it was good.
Is this as hot a practice the last couple of days as, I mean, I know you've been to Spartanburg too, but how would you rate this?
In all honesty, I don't really think about the heat, whether it's hot or cold. I just go out to practice, trying to get ready for the season, and it's a lot hotter than this. So, yeah, it was honestly a nice breeze today.
Where'd you get the bump on your head?
Right here? Yeah. Damn, I'm on here on camera with an eggnog. Probably from that play. I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't even notice. Usually Tommy would have been telling jokes. I didn't even notice.